It's time for you to decide what to major in. Maybe you know where you're going to college. Maybe that all depends on what major you're going to choose. Either way, you know you want to follow your passion and play your part in saving the planet. The easy choice is to sign up for a major in environmental science, right? You want to save the environment, so you major in environmental science. Duh. But then you hear it's an oversaturated market, so you won't find a job, and once you do, the pay sucks, and the 4 years and the thousands of dollars that you just spent on a college degree are flushed down the toilet. So what do? Do you stick with your dream career or throw away your dreams for the sake of a stable career? Well, the answer is not so simple, my friend, and today we're going to talk about all of the different majors that can set you up for a successful career while still contributing to the fight against climate change. Take it from me, I spent 4 years majoring in environmental science, and while I still work in the field of sustainability and energy efficiency, my day-to-day has very little to do with the coursework that I actually did in school. Heck, I spent 2 full years in chemistry. Guess what? I haven't used it since then. So today I'm going to save you from potentially wasting 2 years of chemistry and tell you exactly what career paths you could have depending on what major you choose, so that the time and money and energy that you put into your degree is actually worth it. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's that you got options. A lot of options. Specifically today, we will dive into 6 possible majors, and of course, I'll give out some notable shout outs at the end. So let's actually get into them. Actually, before we get into the list, I do just want to address the question that some of you might be asking, which is, should I still be majoring in sustainability with the current political climate right now? And if you are going into college next year, this is the perfect time, my friend. Your timing is like impeccable, so good job being born when you were. The next 4 years, you'll be in school, getting that degree, and by the time you're out, gosh, knock on wood, things will be better. Don't worry about it, I would say for now. Major in what you want to major in. Now let's actually get into the list. The first one we're going to talk about is the most obvious, and that is environmental science. As I mentioned, this is what I got mine in. I actually did a whole video on it, so if you haven't seen that one, go check it out. I'll link it up here in the cards or up there in the cards after watching this one to the end. But most of the time with an environmental science degree, you can concentrate in a specific field, whether that's conservation biology, marine biology, environmental policy. It really depends on the breadth of the program and how interdisciplinary the program is. And in those specialized classes for your concentration, you'll be going deeper into some of the more basic topics that you learned in your introductory environmental science classes. With any general environmental science degree, your options post-grad are pretty broad. You could do anything from environmental or sustainability consulting, any environmental remediation work, environmental health or field work, but in general, because the major is a general degree, your work, unless you choose to go into some type of higher education or double major in something more specialized, your work post-grad will be more general. So just keep that in mind. There's kind of a trade-off between having a lot of options and working in a more general field, if you think that being specialized is a bonus. The next major or set of majors that we're going to go into is a good option for you if you do want to go more specialized, and that is biology and chemistry. And I am lumping these two together because they follow pretty similar paths. In most biology programs, you do end up taking chemistry classes, and in most chemistry programs, you do have the option to take biology classes as part of your electives. As I mentioned, both of these fields are highly specialized and have very similar career trajectories once you graduate with your undergraduate degree. In both, you have the option to go into academia, continue and get your master's or more likely your PhD, and then end up teaching in the field and doing research. What that would look like is you get your undergraduate degree from the University of Maryland in environmental science, and then you go off to UC Santa Barbara to get your PhD in a more specialized field, and you end up teaching at UC Santa Barbara in more general environmental biology or chemistry classes while researching whatever that specialization is. That is the track that most people go into. However, because of that, it is a incredibly saturated field, and even if you do get your PhD, the competition to actually teach is high. So make sure you really love the work if that is the direction that you're going to take. Your other option is doing field work if you're on the biology side, or lab work if you're on the chemistry side. You can do field or lab work in both, but that generally is how it is. For biology, you'd be collecting water samples or looking at a park and focusing on different conservation strategies or endangered species in that park. On the chemistry side, you might be looking at remediation sites, Superfund sites, and these are generally government funded. That's a good one if you are really passionate about that specific science and you like already know what you want to focus on. If there's like a specific species of fish that you're like very passionate about, then this would be a good idea for you to go into. The third major you could choose to have a successful career in sustainability or related fields is data science. And this is a fairly new one, but the trajectory from data science to a sustainability role, like the work that you'll be doing, is very comparable. If you go into data science, you would gain the skill set to then in your career do emissions calculations for greenhouse gas inventories for larger companies or organizations, and you might be doing carbon footprint analyses or impact modeling for a company or government. Now, if you do decide to go into data science and get those hard skills, you'll want to make sure to get a minor or take some classes at least in sustainability. That way you get the knowledge piece so that you are coming to your job applications with the necessary skills and the knowledge for your future work. The fourth major I wanted to talk about is broad. It's actually in most schools an entire department, but that is agriculture. And really, any form of agriculture is going to set you up for a good career in sustainability. We have to eat, which means we need farms. And if you hadn't heard, farms are struggling right now. So they need all the help they can get. And going into an agricultural program right now can really set you up for success. Anything to do with organic farming or regenerative agriculture, if your college has classes on that, would be essential because that is kind of the direction that we want to be moving in when it comes to the agricultural industry. You'll learn about new and innovative farming techniques that conserve more resources than traditional farming techniques, and that in general minimize environmental impact. In terms of future careers, you would likely be working on a farm. So you get to be outside, which I know a lot of you want to do in your future career, and just get your hands dirty every day. The internships that you could get in this specific field are pretty incredible. My younger brother did one when he was in his undergraduate degree and absolutely loved it. You want to make sure that you are someone who likes to be outside, someone who likes to get their hands dirty, and you have obviously an interest in sustainable agriculture. The next major I wanted to talk about is engineering. And with this one, you have a few different options. Obviously, environmental engineering, we can all kind of see how that could turn into a sustainability career. But also, if you decide to do mechanical or chemical engineering, you would be learning the necessary skills in your degree that you can then later apply to your future career. So again, any courses or minors that you could take in sustainability or that have to do with sustainability would be really important to incorporate so that you're coming into your job applications with the engineering skills, but also the sustainability knowledge. If your school has a energy engineering major or minor, I would highly recommend checking that one out, seeing if you are interested in it, because the clean energy industry in general is growing a lot and there's a huge demand for energy engineers. So if you can get a major in that, I would highly recommend it if you have kind of the interest and the skill set in engineering and math. Now, the sixth major that I wanted to talk about today in depth is business/economics. Some schools do have environmental economics majors, and if they do, I would highly recommend that. Environmental economics majors end up going for roles that have to do with sustainable product design, life cycle analysis of products, like focusing on the circular economy in general, and they tend to have roles in the more corporate space. If your school that you're looking at doesn't have an environmental economics major, that's completely fine. You can also major in business to get those skills, but you want to make sure that you have some classes or even a minor in sustainability to show your future employer that you have the knowledge about sustainable practices and the passion. In addition to these 6 majors that we went in depth today, I also wanted to shout out 5 more that you might want to look into. So we have architecture, geology, geography, political science, and education. So if one of these really interests you, these can all provide you with a really strong background to eventually make a difference in the environmental space. The key here is, if you haven't been able to tell yet, is to major in something where you learn marketable skills and then take some classes or minor in something related to sustainability to show that you have that sustainable knowledge and the passion for it. Ultimately, you want to be able to use your college degree and the coursework that you take in your future career so that you feel like the time and the energy and the money that you spent in the next 4 years of your life are actually worth it. If you still aren't sure what major sounds right for you, I've developed a worksheet that I'll link down below that helps map out what major you might want to try out based on your interests and skill sets so far. If you've made it to the end, hit that subscribe button below so you see more videos like this one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!